What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hierarchy Podcast. Today's guest, I got the one and only Mr. Mark Gano, one speed himself.
How's it, everybody?
Start off introducing yourself.
Um, how's it, everybody? My name is Mark.
Yeah, you hear that?
I'm 34. What the fuck?
34. What do you say? Nah, just you know. I know this is hard.
No, I mean, how's it, everybody? Yeah. One of the tattoo artists in Maui. Grinding away. But
Grinding is an understatement for you. I know we talked about it earlier, but how long have you been tattooing for?
about a decade now, I would
God
say.
Damn.
Yep. 10 plus years, man.
Yeah, the word
10
decade.
plus years of my life. Grinding.
So where'd you apprentice? You apprenticed it. When did you start? And how did you start?
Started at 2012, I believe. This is when I was transitioning from full-time military and just, I don't know, introduced to tattooing, actually. Like, a bunch of my friends, colleagues in the military, just...
Were you tattooing while you were in the military too? Or
Yeah, actually, it was just... That's how I think I got introduced to tattooing. I was more so drawing a lot, but I would draw, like, pieces for my friends to get tattooed on. But yeah, one of my friends that's coming today actually bought me a tattoo machine, and
Where did you
that's
get
how
it
I
from?
started. Huh?
Where did you get it from?
Fuck, where else, bro? Amazon.
Bezos Garage. Yeah.
Amazon, bro.
Amazon. So yeah, if anybody wants to get started, go to Amazon.
But you know what? In the past, I think 2 years, how I started was just learning on my own, not really having a legit apprenticeship. I kind of did it the hard way, I think. Most tattoo artists don't want to teach somebody who's, already tattooing
Yeah, yeah.
or think they know.
Like gatekeeping kind of deal,
Yeah.
or
Like think they know what they're doing, because it's a bit harder, I think.
right.
So yeah, I've tried doing apprenticeship and all that. I got turned down.
Was it all on Maui or?
Yeah, majority of them was all on Maui. Not gonna say names.
Nah, yeah.
but
We don't drop names
yeah,
here.
yeah, no.
Just
But yeah, man, I started and grinded, actually.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that art was pretty much a passion your whole life.
It was a passion, a hobby. It was my daily life.
Right.
To be honest. Yeah.
And now you just that's how you're
That's all I'm doing.
That's how your life
and,
works
and
now.
Getting paid for it.
Yeah, it's probably the best feeling though to do something that you actually like really really love.
Yeah.
I know I told like a couple people this, but when you turn your hobby into like your career,
Yeah. Yeah.
you kind of have to like love it, like absolutely love it, cause like
hands down.
like you be honest, like there's some times where you tattoo or you're drawing and you just don't want to do it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like you just get all burnt out and
Oh yeah.
something you used to love just isn't fun anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So
Everyone gets there.
yeah. So for those of you that want to start your hobby and make it a career, make sure you love what you do first, because
Really love what you do.
Yeah.
The ins, the outs. The highs, the lows. It's a stressful job. Don't get me wrong. Some days it's stressful when you have those needy clients.
we'll get there.
Yeah. But you gotta have a passion for it.
Right, right.
You have a passion for it, and that's your drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 years.
10 years, man.
How many shops were you at for all those 10 years? Because I know.
So I've started off in Pro Ridge in Oahu, and then after that, I went, I believe, in Vegas. That's where my tattoo really got, a lot better.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah,
Found a bunch of artists that I worked with, and really taught me how to do it.
What style did you kind of start off with?
Basically everything, man.
That's fair.
From fucking tribals,
Right.
from traditional. We were like the go-to walk-in shop.
So you kind of had to do whatever was handed to you.
Whatever is handed to you, you better do
Gotcha.
it, or else you lose money.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's a hustle.
Right.
It's a good.
Especially in the beginning of your career, right?
Yeah, it was one of the best stepping stone, I would say, that really got me into where my career is. Being as a versatile artist, and not just, you know, doing, one specific style. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing one specific style, but versatility for like walk-ins and all that grinding
Right.
is where it's at.
Cool. Yeah. So when in your career did you think there was that shift from doing everything that was handed to you to like kind of doing stuff that you wanted to do? Never.
Right?
He still does everything.
Man, I still do everything. No,
Yeah.
but
Or do you think there would be a point
There
if
is.
you didn't hit that point yet? Do you think there would be a point where you kind of want to just do pieces that you've drawn up and pieces that you know?
so I'm kind of fucked up when it comes to art. I'm like, when I'm interested in one thing, I'll go into it, and then another thing, and then I can never go in one style.
Right. Right,
when
right.
when you're intrigued on learning different styles.
Right.
What I do is like, I've come to a point where I've have clientele, and then utilize like social media. Like, hey, what do you think of me doing this?
Right,
Or
right.
I want to do this style. Who's down? Hints, a little hints. But for me, I think right now I'm at a transitional point where I want to do more portraits.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking, I just want to learn portraits, and yeah, I mean my outlet is social media, and that really helps me kind of go to different directions of what I want to do,
Right. Yeah.
style wise. Yeah.
So I mean, you could being super versatile, like you can pull from different styles and
Yeah.
like incorporate them and
Oh,
like the
definitely.
techniques and stuff, right?
Definitely. Like instance where a lot of tattoo artists, like in the tribal industry, like doing tribal, would never thought doing stippling,
Yeah. Right. Right.
dotted art.
Now it's like being introduced
Now
a lot.
it's introduced to tribal.
Done it
and-
myself. Yeah.
Right. That's one
Yeah.
perfect example.
Right.
Two different styles, you merge it, and you create your own style.
Right.
I think that's why I've pushed myself to learn different styles, because now I can pick, certain techniques
Right.
and utilize it in a different style and create a new style.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so everybody calls you One Speed. When did that come up? Like when you were at Imua, or like I forget. Like, have you always gone by One Speed, or is it
I've ever since I've started tattooing.
yeah?
Okay.
Because every time you do it, you're
I've-
like, oh, One Speed.
No, dude. It evolved throughout
Yeah.
the years. I've really wanted that to be my tattoo shop name, One Speed. Right?
Manifest.
Manifest it, dude. And that was my get-go. It wasn't a nickname for myself. It was, I wanted that to be my tattoo shop name, One
Right.
Speed.
So you just took that name,
Yeah.
knowing that that's what you're gonna name your shop.
Yeah.
And you
Manifest.
started building that brand
Build
way
that
before,
brand
right?
before
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right. So it has nothing to do with the fact that we can ask you to do something for us, and you're like, yeah, One Speed.
No,
I got
yeah,
you.
then it evolved.
Right.
It evolved
'Cause it
to that.
works. It works.
It works,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Like-
it's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like you're gonna sue me when we say that. Yeah, One Speed. But
Every time I hear it now, there's One Speed 8.
yeah.
It's my fucking.
And to be honest, there is only One Speed with you. Like,
Yeah.
like to be honest, that's why I had you start my back piece.
Yeah.
Because I am a baby when it comes to tattoos, and I picked you because you're
Yeah.
probably the fastest
Yeah,
one
yeah.
to get a whole back
Oh
done.
man.
Which we haven't finished yet because, I can can only do
Still
so
a
much.
chicken wing.
Yeah, I've still got chicken. I don't have my flight feathers yet. But so speed. Let's talk about speed because you are probably one of the quickest hands on the island. But
Yeah.
where do you think that comes from? That guy's blaring his radio.
That's Brandon.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Can you just call him?
Yeah.
Anyway, speed. Do you think that comes from having a process of tattooing, like how do you tattoo so fast? Because it's not like you're tattooing fast and it just is like you're not just
No.
dipping and ripping like
No.
like it's like legit, like everything's
Legit.
packed in there.
Yeah.
But do you think that comes from like constant repetition of doing like a certain technique that you can do it, or like do you have like a process that makes you like, okay, like I already have this round line around, I'm just gonna hit this and this,
Yeah.
like, cause yeah, it's fast and it's efficient,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Man, that's a great question, man. It's a little bit of everything, I think.
Yeah.
How I break down.
this is the thunder round.
So I think how I break it down, to be honest, is when how I do my process of tattooing, I think of it like chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, man. I'm thinking 5-6 moves ahead.
Gotcha.
For instance, tribal. Let's get to tribal real quick. How we learn tribal is that every line needs to be perfect, perfect
Right.
to the, dots and lines and curves. To me, it doesn't really make sense because when you're done with the whole outcome of the tattoo, majority of those lines, perfect lines, is shaded.
Right.
It's gone.
It's covered.
It's covered. All those perfect lines that you worked so hard for is covered.
Gotcha.
You wasted all those time or minutes or whatever. So me, I'm picking which lines that needs to be perfect and which lines that I know it will be covered.
Everybody watching this is now looking at their tattoo from you.
Yeah,
They're
right,
like,
right.
which
Yeah,
line
yeah.
is not perfect?
And that's how I do my process of like any style. In my head, I already know the outcome,
Right.
how it will look.
Right.
I think every tattoo artist should have that kind of vision, When they see the piece, they should see the outcome of it already.
Right.
Because you're not guessing. Now you know how it looks.
Right.
Right?
Oh, so you're not like in the middle of the tattoo,
No,
kind
and
of
you're
like,
like, oh, fuck,
what
should
do
I
I
do
do
this?
here?
No.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Sometimes I would do that in certain occasions, but overall, yeah, when I'm doing a tattoo piece, even tribal, you have a specific flow. I know you can change up the design, you can change up the motifs or whatever, but you have that certain flow
Right.
that you're going for,
Right.
and you should have that vision. And I think throughout my career, that's how I've processed it down, meaning like that's how I got faster and
Right,
faster and faster. Now I'm not losing quality, but I'm getting faster now. And it's all about that balance with quality and speed.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's either quality and you take long, or speed but you lose quality.
Right.
So
But
I
you're like
always-
you got both like
yeah,
quality and the speed is kind of what
and
I'm
that's
saying.
what I try to strive.
And no, that makes sense because it's not like you're gonna do a full entire sleeve, and you're not. No one's gonna be looking at it with a microscope,
No.
or a ruler, or
Dude.
yeah. If someone gets that close to you to put a
Yeah.
ruler on you, yeah, don't.
Bro, we're human. We're not
yeah,
perfect.
it's just
machines.
post-COVID times. It's 6
Yeah.
feet away, still stands. Yeah,
We're only human. We make mistakes too.
Right,
Even
exactly.
tattoos.
exactly. So, yeah, no, that's super cool. 5 steps ahead. I like that.
Yeah.
And that I think that even applies to not just tattooing, but even how you talked about the name One Speed and how you wanted it to be your shop name. Like that's if anything, that's 5 steps ahead
Really,
already. Like
yeah.
you already knew that
I
that's your game plan and
Yeah.
you stuck to it.
I already envisioned it. dude.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. And I think that's where everybody in the tattoo industry would want to go. at some point
Right.
they want to
Right.
have their own tattoo shop. I mean, there's some tattoo artists that loves doing conventions, and maybe they don't want tattoo shops or
Right.
be owners. But
Or if they just want to do
I
art
would say
yeah.
80% of all tattoo artists wants to have their own shop.
Yeah, I think I heard it as like a glass ceiling industry. Like there's at one point everyone's kind of got to break through. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, some of them live to do conventions. Some of them just want to do the art and doesn't want to do the bookkeeping and that, the shop upkeep, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think especially for artists, they're super creative, so they like want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're our own people.
yeah, like I saw this guy on Instagram. I forget his name, but he calls himself the gardener, and he pretty much tattoos in like a greenhouse. Like there's plants everywhere. Yeah, it's super cool. But again, creative style. That's his own thing.
Yeah, that's his zen. you
Yeah.
know. I think when we're in that environment, you can create, I mean, pieces on your own styles.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because when you're working at a shop, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of camaraderie you can learn from different artists, but you're not at your comfort zone. Meaning
Right.
you're really like feel like home to you. 'Cause
Right.
You're at some point you still feel like you're at work. You're at a shop or whatever. But when you have your own tattoo shop, you really can create whatever environment you want.
Right. And like we talked about Andy Fo's shop, where
Yeah.
it's like super zened
Zen,
out,
yeah.
and like
For me, I mean, my shop, what I want to stand out on is that we're a family shop. You come in the door, you take off your slippers.
right.
You come up, and it's just peace and quiet.
Brandon's over there. He says he got his slippers.
And it's yeah. I mean, it's a place of comfort, no stress.
Right.
I don't want that environment.
Right. And yeah, since
Really
we're on the topic, I mean, it wasn't a part of the notes and anything, but
Yeah.
you would say, I mean, obviously, you would say tattoo shops have changed over the years.
100%.
Like, yeah,
100%.
but I think there's still like that lingering stigma of, oh, a tattoo shop's
Yeah.
gonna bring scary
Yeah.
bikers and
So-
crazy people, but like you put up a whole family shop. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I
so-
think. Oh, that's a good topic too. So, how you were talking about like tattoo shops at malls. That stigma.
yeah.
So, when we were trying to get this shop, landlord was iffy about it because we're the first tattoo shop as a tenant.
Right.
And how they wanna I think when we were trying to get this shop, they were like iffy if they should give it to us or not. And how I think how we stood out is that how we put ourselves out there is that we're a family owned tattoo shop, and it's not that
So
stigma
that's how
that
you
said.
approached it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
not like
yeah.
that we'll bring drugs
yeah.
gangs.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Back then,
Yeah.
But I think saying that we are family oriented and driven, and a tattoo shop in a clean environment and all this and that
Yeah.
really gave them that trust. They're like, oh,
Right,
they're really
right. And I mean,
We'll
it's
try
pretty
to give-
open. It's
yeah.
bright. It's not like you're walking into some dark hole.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Which, yeah.
And I think
I mean, there's still shops like that. And don't get me wrong. That's
Yeah,
their style.
that's
like,
cool.
Again,
Yeah.
like you said, like people, when you open up your shop, you're making your own environment.
Yeah.
So.
I think
And
depending
it attracts
yeah
your clients too.
Yeah, depending on the culture,
Yeah.
in Hawaii we're more family oriented.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
and
huge.
yeah, and some parts of the world might be different. Might be like dark, gothic or whatever, metal.
Yeah. So we'll switch it up. FYT. You still rocking with FYT or?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I still do.
Yeah.
Here and there, trying out different brands too.
For sure,
But
yeah.
FYT is my go-to for
Right.
needles.
Yeah. So, yeah, hard switch, but back to like conventions and stuff. Let's talk about that day that they kind of came up to you at that
Yeah,
Houston
yeah.
convention,
That
because
was cool.
yeah, I mean it was super cool. to see it
He was
happen.
there.
I was right there.
You saw how I sold myself.
Oh
you know?
yeah,
Sold
yeah. I
myself.
mean, you came home with a suitcase full of needles, but yeah. I mean, I think for me, like, that was probably like one of, and it didn't even happen to me, but to see it happen
Yeah.
in real life, I know there's a lot of artists, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, we'll tag the shit out of companies that we're using,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I don't know, we kind of like push for that sponsorship. Even I don't know why we do that.
Dude,
Everybody wants to be sponsored.
I'm slowly starting to not
Exactly.
tag them,
Yeah.
dude.
No. So I'm on that same train with you.
Yeah.
So, we're tagging all these companies, especially
Yeah.
when we first started, because we think it'd be so cool to get sponsored and stuff. And
Yeah.
I know it comes with a whole bunch. And don't get me wrong, it'll be amazing to get
Yeah.
sponsored one day.
Yeah.
And that's always the goal.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes when we're just so, for lack of a better term, thirsty.
Yeah.
We're just like
Hungry.
like tagged out. I don't know about hungry. Sometimes guys are just sitting out there with their tongue out, like,
Right, yeah, yeah,
give
yeah.
me free needles or give me free ink. But yeah, they'll like tag the crap out of people, and they when they don't get any love back, they're like, well,
Yeah,
they
right,
get all
yeah,
mad.
yeah.
But yeah, I am on the same boat as you, as kind of like pulling back a little bit. I told one of the artists at our other shop that if for sponsorships, to
Yep.
be honest, it almost would be better if they came to you rather
Oh,
you went
yes.
to them.
100%.
Like, invest in yourself. Go
Yeah.
get quality equipment.
Yeah.
Use it. Don't just use anything off the shelf and then tag them hoping that you'll get
No.
sponsored by them, because you might not even like it later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think if you do invest in yourself, do quality work, they'll come to you, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Because then it's not like you were like on your hands and your knees begging. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about that day.
Yeah.
'Cause it was pretty cool to see it happen.
One of the proudest moments, I think, and
Yeah.
one of the,
For sure.
it's one of those moments where, like, man, I think I chose the right career. You know what
Right.
I mean? Not saying it's a what is that word I'm looking for? It's like a
Confirmation.
yeah, a confirmation that I'm a good artist or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's a confirmation where, man, I think I can compete with other tattoo artists that's
Right,
those up there,
Mhm.
and I guess, yeah, in some way gave that confidence in me that I was putting good work
Right.
at a point,
Right. Because
some
you
artists.
didn't really. I've never heard of FYT until that day, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So, yeah. So it's not like you knew about them prior.
I knew
or?
about them prior.
Yeah?
Before you guys were doing convention, I was
Right.
before
That's
I
a whole nother
introduced
thing.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the guy. Yeah.
I introduced you.
Yeah. This is the plug. Yeah. He got us all addicted to it. It's his fault.
And so yeah, before conventions, man, I was doing conventions, and they were always with Villain Arts, and always loved their needles. I've used them, and in comparison to some needles and prices and all that,
Right.
it was decent. It was
Oh
good
yeah.
price.
Yeah.
And that, what was it, in Houston, right?
Yeah. It was used to.
So how I did was I've approached them to get some needles, and
Just for the convention.
just for
to
the
use.
convention, yeah. And the director of the company, I guess, was there, and just saying, hey, I want to purchase some needles, and I'm gonna do a piece that I'm gonna try to enter,
Mhm.
and he actually kind of introduced me to like the bug pins, the really tight ones on
Right,
that one,
right.
because I hardly used bug pins back then and wanted to try it, but never really had the use for it
Right.
until that a client that I was doing was a floral, so I wanted to give that nice fine line
Yeah.
stipple or woodcut,
Yeah.
shading.
Which is a super beautiful piece. Well, I'll get you to send me
Yeah.
a picture. We'll put 'em up,
Yeah. But so happened he was walking around and stopped by our booth, and I
Right.
said, "Hey, check out this piece that I did with your needle.
Right. Okay.
You know, hinting it out, and it's like, hey, yeah, man, good work. And then yeah, we're gonna try to enter in and see what we can do. And so at the end of the day, announcement with black and gray, and we won second place. And stopped by at the booth, and it said, hey, thanks, I won second place with your needle.
Okay.
You know?
I see what you did there. Yep.
Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, man, that's what's up, and all this.
Right.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, he stopped by, and he's like, hey, what do you think about being being
Right.
sponsored by FYT? I'm like, dude, how do you fucking
Right.
awesome.
Well, so is that like your first sponsorship?
First sponsorship, yeah. That was, proudest moment.
Heck yeah, because
Yeah.
at that time you're already at what year?
Yeah.
What, 9,
Yeah.
8, something like that.
2018, so
Yeah.
that was 2018, dude.
Damn. Was it 2018? No, I think it was.
19 or 18?
I think it was. Was it after COVID?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, it was
bro.
after COVID. No, it was
Oh,
after.
after
Because
COVID?
we did the Hawaii one right before COVID.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
we were at the
yeah,
Hawaii
yeah.
convention,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
tattoo tour
that
one,
one.
and
That
the
was
last day Kobe died, and
Yeah.
I got my
2019,
apprenticeship
man.
lifted off that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the day Kobe died is when
Dude,
you guys made me a professional tattoo artist. So I was like,
remember.
I mean, all respects to Kobe, but hey, one legend died, another one rose.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like to tell
No.
people that. Makes me feel good
Yeah.
about myself. But no, yeah, I think it was. I
19
think it was
then.
after COVID because.
Yeah.
Um,
After COVID,
yeah,
like
because that was.
2022,
Yeah, because I think we
23?
were.
I mean,
maybe it
21?
wasn't the first one. I think it was. It was the second one,
20.
right?
2020.
Yeah, it
I
had to be
think it was
after because
2020.
I think Texas was the only one that was open to do those. so
Oh,
we went
yeah,
down there.
yeah, because there was not that much
None.
regulation. Yeah.
Because I think we tried to go to the Oregon one,
Yeah.
and
And
that
it
was
was
like a
fucking
no go. Yeah, I
shit
think
show,
it like the world shut down the week we were supposed to all go to that one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But no, still, I mean, after all those years of, going from an Amazon kit
Oh, yeah.
to like finally
Branded.
landing that, branded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was more of, you went to them and you told them you're going to use their needles and stuff, but
Yeah.
you weren't like, leaning over the table and being like, dude,
No.
can I get a sponsorship? Like, all you did was show them like, oh, this is what I did with your needles. Thank you.
Yeah, and
And-
also,
Yeah, they came to you. So yeah.
prior to that, I wasn't even tagging them or nothing like that.
Right,
on
exactly.
My media
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it was awesome.
Oh, for sure.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So I know it must have been awesome because you came home with like a whole suitcase full of needles that day. I
Yeah,
think you cleared out their booth for them.
I think so, man.
They were packing up. They put it in your bag.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know the answer to this, but do you think it changed your career, or do you think it maybe not necessarily changed, but do you think it like relit and resparked
Definitely.
that fire after getting that sponsorship?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also, I think I was more aware of what I'm posting, and
Right.
also, the art that I'm posting and tattoos, because you don't want to give them not a work that is not worthy, but it's just saying you don't want to give them a shitty.
Yeah, and we talked about that at we'll talk about seminars in a second, but at the seminar, they talked about social media is where all the attention's at, but and I think it was Bobby Johnson that talked about it, but he was like, just stop posting stupid crap, just to get a post up, like take the time and produce a quality, and not to say quality as in like a high def video, but like quality work, like you can take it with your phone and stuff, but and I'm guilty of it. I mean, I like to do it because it's fun. Like I'll do those like voiceover stuff, and those little skits in here, and John Nelson them do like super cool skits, like that's super cool, and that would be a good definition of quality, like they do those cool little shop skits, but like when we're just posting random crap every day, and it with like the very slightest tattoo relatable content.
Yeah.
They were talking about how like it just makes our industry look so, you know,
Yeah.
not
It
dumb,
does,
but
yeah.
just but
It does. And yeah, like high
So,
quality
right,
photos.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
So
you
now
gotta
that
be a
now that you
photographer.
had exactly, I
Right?
know. Well, nowadays as a tattoo artist, you got to be a whole bunch
Yeah.
of things. But
Don't get me wrong.
look
like,
at us, we're doing podcasting. We're Joe Rogan right now. So.
dude, I think we have the most career.
Oh,
like,
dude.
artists gotta be photographers.
If we were to write a resume, yeah,
Dude,
we could do it.
photographers, psychiatrists,
Oh,
IT.
big time psychiatrist.
fucking
Yeah.
accounting,
Mm-hmm.
dude. All
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Try to balance it out.
Yeah. So for those of you that think we only just draw, we really don't. Like,
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're even babysitters, to
Oh,
be honest.
Definitely. Fathers.
Yeah. To both our kids and the people at the shop. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. So. Yeah. We got a whole bunch of titles.
Yeah,
for
media.
sure.
I mean, yeah, I had to be aware of like postings that I do.
Right.
and
So now
the
that you
quality.
had that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had that, like, not only are you repping and carrying your one speed name, but you also have that FYT name.
Yeah.
And out of respect, you know, they're taking care of you, so you gotta want to take care of them.
Oh, yeah.
In
Yeah.
return. So, I think even like if you are posting and you're not sponsored yet, and you're still tagging people,
Yeah.
even then,
Yeah.
like, don't just take a picture of your thing and tag them all. Like, make sure it looks good. Like,
Yeah.
like
I think also
they won't repost it if it
Yeah.
looks horrible. You know.
I think also they don't want the outcome of the tattoo. They want to see you using their equipment.
Right,
you know
because,
what I mean?
I mean,
There's
I'm
some
guilty
people who
of
just
that.
fucking tag and they're not even using their
the
equipment.
equipment. Yeah.
Come
yeah.
on.
No, guilty.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I
Nah,
feel you.
that's
I
just
feel you.
fucking-
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like after this podcast, we're gonna tag Rode mic, even though we're not using a Rode mic. And,
Yeah, man. That's I think people. I mean, every tattoo artist. You know, I think at one point did that. But
yeah,
what I've noticed, and I'm guilty as that too. Like sometimes I don't video, cause who's gonna video for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard when you're tattooing.
Oh,
and, like,
trust me, I tried it. I put it on the yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's annoying. Yeah.
it would be helpful if you have another hand, and just while you're tattooing and someone's videotaping you tattoo. But I think they like that when they actually see their product being used,
Right. In
they'll
action. Yeah.
plug it in.
Right. Yeah, and it's hard too because, to be honest, watching tattoos, it's boring as hell.
Fucking boring, dude.
Like, it
Who's
is
gonna
probably the most
fucking-
boring. It's like watching paint
I
dry.
think the
Oh,
most
you like
I, I think the most interesting part is like the beginning
and
at
the end. Yeah, and maybe like
Nobody
in the
wants the
middle while they're,
climax.
Like, yeah. They're like, no one wants
wants
to.
in the
Yeah,
middle,
it's
yeah.
it's so
It's boring.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I get bored watching it sometimes, but I kind of want to watch it right before I go out of the lines.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, after you got sponsored, you took more notice about what you're posting and stuff,
Mhm.
which is it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
'cause-
Posting and time when you're tagging the supplies that you use is it helps it's to bring yourself out there, to get noticed.
Mhm.
But yeah, like what you said, man, I think you want them to notice you instead of the other way around and
Right.
poking it at them like, hey,
Yeah.
look at my work,
Yeah.
look at my work,
Yeah.
please
'Cause that'll
share
get
my
annoying
story,
real quick,
please,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when they're like turned off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh god, it's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to
so-
talk to you.
So yeah, let them come to you.
Yeah.
Don't go to them.
No.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I mean there is a fine line of trying to get recognized. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Like, trying to not necessarily poke at them, and be like, hey, look at me, but
Yeah.
like, what do you suggest as
I
far as
think-
getting
I think,
not recognized, but at least turning the light and
Yeah.
making them know that you're alive.
I think there's ways to do it. Of course, yeah, producing quality work.
Which is
That's
number
what
one above all.
number
Yeah.
one, and that's what I wanna.
Mhm.
They don't wanna fucking give a sponsorship, but
Right.
a decent or whatever. And originality, definitely.
That's a big one. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of tattoo artists can produce good work, but not original.
Right. Everybody's doing the same
Same
Pinterest
shit.
tattoo.
And once they see that, I think those combinations, and that's when they start to take notice. It's like, okay, he's not just a
Another
regular
tattoo.
artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually, have imagination.
Right. Right.
And then, of course, like what I was saying, posting their equipment and utilizing their equipment while doing it through story or to post or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's when they will start to get, they'll start to realize, okay, this guy has something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's see what this thing's at. I don't want this thing to die on us. And if it dies, we'll just swap the batteries out real quick.
Yeah.
But
no worries.
let's transition real quick to.
Okay.
We'll wrap it up in a little bit because I gotta go actually tattoo in a second here. Yeah, a lot of titles.
I'm off.
So yeah, he's open for walk-ins.
No.
So let's talk about you said number one overall quality work.
Quality work.
And then after quality work, it's originality.
Yeah.
You just took. Was it your first seminar that you took? Like, was that one of your first ones that you've been to? With the Mr.
Yes,
Mr. Reyes?
Mr. Reyes. Yeah. Shout out, Mr. Reyes.
Right. There you
Badass
go.
cover-up tattoo artist, man.
There you go.
And he's younger than me. Man, a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
You
It's
can never
crazy.
be too
I feel
old
like that's how it is nowadays.
to learn, guys. Yeah, be open-minded.
Yeah. So, what is your thoughts on seminars? Like,
By far,
everybody should do it.
I think, there's a lot of like good, positive things about it. Not just like learning, but networking.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
definitely you have a lot to gain. Literally,
Absolutely.
they're teaching you their style.
Yeah.
In 3 days or whatever, how many days, but it's really up to you how much you take in that brain of yours.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can go to a seminar and not learn shit, and that's how but
Mm-hmm.
if you come in and really soak it in, you'll learn a lot and condense to like mere days, instead of like apprenticing for like years, trying to learn that. And they're literally telling you the style.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like if you're like an apprentice, man, had I known if I was like my years, I would go to as much as seminars I could get out.
So I was telling the boys at the shop, they're all big on conventions, thanks to you, so they all want to just chase the next convention. I think they just use it as an excuse to take a boys trip out,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Boys
Away
trip, but
from
we're
the other halves.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we are working. Don't get me wrong. Conventions, you bust ass. It's like 3 days straight of like nonstop tattooing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was telling them at the shop that I think I'm gonna take a break on conventions this year. And actually like invest in seminars.
So, what do you think of convention? Did it open up?
It did. It
Yeah.
did. And yeah, like I love conventions
Yeah.
and the networking aspect's definitely there.
Yeah.
But as far as I kind of look at it as an investment, and I kind of do that with everything.
Yeah.
If I buy something, I want to make sure that it's going to return something, not just the physical or whatever. But, so yeah, I told them that I was going to take a break on conventions because, I can spend that same exact airfare, that same exact room fees and stuff and learn something, like we do conventions and most of the times we'll break even, we'll pay for the trip.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But you're still, while we're there, if we break even, we're not making any money because we kind of technically missed out on 3-4 days of work at home,
Yeah. True.
So regardless, you break even, but you're not making money. So I told them like I'd rather take that money and go invest in another seminar
Yeah.
to learn more techniques and yeah, we're gonna lose money, but again, we're still losing money on
Oh
conventions.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think investing in my technique and my skills first,
Yeah.
and then going back to
Yeah.
conventions. Like I think networking at seminars, because I just did one too.
Yeah.
I did the Eden Winter Symposium. Shout out to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Eden Studio
I
out
was
in
supposed
Texas.
to go, but I
Yeah.
couldn't make it.
Yeah, yeah. So that one was good. I mean, it wasn't like I said. Yours one was hands on.
Hands on.
That one was more PowerPoint classroom setting.
Yeah.
There was 6 artists
Yeah.
and yeah, it was amazing. There was different techniques, different styles, different mindsets. They even had like a tattoo business part of it, which was super cool because, again, we have a lot of titles, so we gotta.
We have a lot of
yeah.
titles, not just as artists.
And just to touch back on when you said like you can learn from everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
there were ink masters, like literally,
Literally, yeah.
like Anthony Michaels, and he wasn't presenting. Like he was sitting in the classroom
master.
seatings. Yeah, like he was sitting with everyone else. Like he was just another regular person.
Yeah.
And honestly, that kind of inspired me to think that like, because a lot of like in the industry, like you think you win ink master, like that's the pinnacle.
Yep.
Like I did it, like I'm the best fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
But like he's done it, and
Yeah.
yet he's sitting right behind us,
Yeah.
learning from tattoo artists that
Lost.
lost
Right.
or didn't,
Lost
yeah,
in
lost.
Ink Master and didn't make
Yeah,
it.
or didn't make it. But yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
It definitely like, I always lived by that whole if
Yeah.
you say you're too good for something
Nah,
or you're
humble
really not
yourself.
good for nothing. Yeah.
Humble yourself,
Yeah.
man.
So it was super cool. But yeah, the networking aspect of that compared to a convention,
Yeah.
it's so much bigger.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're at a convention, you're walking around, you're looking at stuff, but they're working.
Yeah,
There's not
that's true.
really conversations because they're trying to kill their piece.
Yeah.
And that's super cool. But you go to seminars, now you're like sitting right next to them.
Yeah.
No one's working. You guys are doing the same thing.
Yeah. That's true.
Like I've met a bunch of people out there. I don't know what it is about locals, but we kind of attracted
We do.
all the Filipinos to
Yeah.
me, and all the Polynesian people. So
We do.
yeah, I don't know
have-
what it was.
we have
I,
that look.
I tried so hard to
We have
branch
that
out.
Aloha look, man.
I tried to branch out to other people, but they all kind of like
yeah.
So
That's funny.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It definitely made me feel at home. But yeah, I think I told the boys I'm gonna start investing in myself for a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been in it for 5 years, so I think it's time to kind of invest in my art and then take it
that's
back.
what the direction you should go, man.
Yeah.
You know yourself better than anybody
Right.
else. You know?
And yeah, it was funny because I was thinking about it the other day. Like conventions, they'll inspire the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like you go to a convention, walk around, see all the work, you come back fired.
And that's what I wanted to bring
Right.
to you guys. Like,
Yeah.
get inspired. Like,
Yeah.
don't be stuck in that hole. or
Exactly.
whatever.
Okay. So stuck in a hole too.
Yeah.
Like just going to that seminar and
Yeah.
seeing everybody's portfolio and hearing the presenters. Like we live on an island,
Yeah.
right? Like we're like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And I know we're always far behind the mainland.
Way behind, dude.
Like I remember when I went to college, I think the song Thrift Shop came out. and I came home on break, and I was like, I put it on my truck, and I was like listening to it. Like everybody's listening. Thrift Shop's been playing for like months now in California.
Yeah.
And
Not
I
in
come
Hawaii.
home, and they're like, "What is
The
this?" Like, I was like, "What the hell do you mean? What is this?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
We're
yeah,
always
after
months behind.
yeah, after watching that, I like, and not to say we suck like artists, because we have like killer artists, but
Yeah.
like as far as the industry goes, we are
Dude.
so far behind.
Stuck in a hole.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I introduced you guys to conventions, because it opens your mind.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, and I don't think it's. I mean, maybe part of it is stubbornness, and we don't want to change ways. I mean,
So
it's an island. That is like the island mind style.
Yeah.
Yeah, mindset for sure. Like, we're comfortable, we're good. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, kind of deal. But
I think when it all comes down, it's the clients.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
what they want,
right.
and
You
what
need-
they want is
right.
the same exact thing that the
Exactly.
next client
Yeah.
wants.
And
And-
like,
and-
oh, I want that old English
Yeah.
last name like my dad. Like,
There's no versatility with like, meaning, clients want something the same as, like, when you're in the States, it's everybody wants different shit.
Right. And
Here it's like they want the next,
Polynesian.
Yeah.
And yeah, not like I.
And I think it's not even some part it's tattoo artists and majority of it I think it's more so what the client wants
Yeah.
and we're stuck to that.
Yeah. And I
you know?
definitely think like client education
It does.
will play a
Yeah.
big part in
And
it.
that's what I'm trying to bring at this shop
Right.
is like being aware, like there's other styles that you can do and you can
Because
present.
like for the most part, they're only got Google and Pinterest
That's
and
it,
maybe
Pinterest.
Instagram.
Yeah. That's
So-
it. And I like the idea of like we have great artists here,
Mhm.
but I think we got to do our part too. Meaning like giving that whatever style you want to do and bringing it out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, and just posting and whatever, even if through social media or whatever, but being aware, like giving that awareness, like, hey, I can do other styles other than
Right,
this
right,
or
right.
whatever, and also like there's a lot of artists, and that's why I want to do like more seminars here. Don't get me wrong, some artists, it's shitty to say, but they don't want to
Help the next.
help the next generation.
Yeah, they're like
and
those
it's just being
gatekeepers.
yeah, man.
Mhm.
For my opinion is I have a different mindset when it comes to that. It's more so I like to share my knowledge.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I mean, you did your seminar
yeah,
at what's the place called?
soft ink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like to
with
call them.
Tiana.
I like to call them your little PMU army. 'cause,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them
And
doing
there's
little
nothing
fine
wrong
line
with
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
There's so much clients.
Exactly.
There's no fucking reason why you shouldn't get any client.
Exactly.
It's how you hustle.
And the funniest thing is like you did your seminar on fine lines, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of maybe the old timers or those gatekeepers.
Yep.
They're like, oh, what is he doing? Teaching them how to do fine line tattoos.
Yeah.
It's funny because they complain about it. But
They
when
don't
a
wanna
client,
do it.
but when a client walks in
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I want a fine line, tree. They're like, no. It's like then
exactly.
why? Like, why would you even get mad about it? Like,
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's those small tattoos, fine line that all these gatekeepers and old timers that
They're-
don't want to do
exactly,
anymore.
exactly.
And now they're fucking grumbling when they don't wanna
get it,
do
yeah.
I don't
yeah.
get it.
I think a lot of it for them is not the fact that they're getting left behind, but
Yeah.
they're not trying to improve themselves. So I think it's like fear that
It is
they're gonna
fear
get
of
past.
not getting any clients
Yeah,
anymore.
and that's no one's fault but
No.
theirs.
No
Yeah.
one's fault but your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
It's how you sell yourself,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like what I was told. All my apprentices or other artists is like it's not how you're not getting clients. It's how you sell yourself.
Right, right.
Be humble. Treat your clients like respect and everything. They'll come back to you, man.
Exactly.
They'd rather have a client, an artist that they can
Mhm.
talk to and get.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh.
other than a fucking like a douchebag.
Yeah. So
even-
like, I'm a big advocate of the actual experience itself.
Same.
Yeah. Like, there are like tattoo artists that'll kill it, but they're douchebags.
Douchebag, dude.
Like,
There's no connection.
No, like they'll tell you to sit down, shut up,
Yeah.
let me do my work, and then
Yeah.
they make you leave. Like,
Dude, you don't
like-
even know how many times clients tell me, "Oh yeah, I got this. It's really nice work, but
yeah, but
artist
it was a
fucking
yeah.
bad experience or whatever."
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so like yes, quality is king,
Yeah.
and do good work, but I think you gotta have, again, back to, we have so many titles, but you gotta go back to that customer service and just making them feel
Yes.
comfortable. I mean, it's
Customer service, man.
yeah, it's the experience that you're selling, to be honest.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Not just the tattoo, but
No,
an
yeah,
experience.
because the
man.
tattoo's gonna live forever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that experience that they have that I
And
think
that's
makes
how
them
you
come
don't
back.
lose clients.
Yeah, yeah,
They'll come back.
yeah. So
I'd rather have somebody who has good experience in tattooing than just a bad experience one.
right, but yeah,
And that goes to like what we were saying, those gatekeepers. Like, man, I don't know why artists think that way. You can always get clients. It's just
Yeah.
how your mindset is. And
I think they're
and-
just scared.
yeah, my opinion is like sharing, man. Sharing the
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is the key, you know. And on top of that, that's how I try to make my footprint in the world.
Yeah.
Not just art, but really
Right.
teaching artists to be, at their best and
Yeah.
not
And
scratching.
yeah, and definitely that has to, that plays a big role in your shop being the family environment setting. Like you have to, all your artists here have to have that open and welcoming feeling that, it is a family friendly shop. Like, so.
Cause my mindset again is like, those people who's interested in tattooing, eventually they'll try to tattoo no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Might as well teach them the right
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And like I know, I always laughed at people, like, cause the term scratcher, like
Dude, everybody's
everybody scratches.
Started.
Yeah, I mean maybe not like
I hate
there
that
is.
word.
Yeah, exactly. So like there is a fine line of people that go to Amazon and then start to tattoo people. Like we've all been there, right? Like
Yeah.
that's how I started too. But like at one point you do have to take that jump to kind of
Yeah.
better yourself. Don't
Yeah.
just like be like, oh, I'm so good, and then you start
Yeah.
fucking people up. That's
Yeah.
that's a great area, whatever.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
stubborn.
I mean, yeah, for all those other artists like the old timers or even like whatever, you don't even have to be an old timer, but to like shit on people that are trying, you gotta kind of
Dude,
remember
yeah.
that's where you started.
Yeah. And great Mr. Robert Fall had a shout out actually. There was a post that he posted and it just reminded me like how people is like shedding on that amnesia thing, like you go to sleep and shit.
Oh yeah. The
So he
anesthesia
posted
stuff, yeah.
something about how people like just shedding on it, but it's just the next new thing. Like for example, when we were shedding on rotaries,
Exactly.
now everybody's on rotary.
You're right. Yeah.
People were shedding on like not using certain products, and now people are using fucking
Right.
It's the next thing. I mean, yeah,
And it's not, and it is the next thing in the industry, but it's not the only thing.
No,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
people are like. I don't know why people get so mad
Yeah.
about it. Like, yeah, there's health benefits, whatever. That's
Yeah.
on their own. Like,
On their own,
literally,
yeah.
like I think that's one good thing too. It's
Yeah.
like people need to just stop worrying about everything else.
Yeah,
Like, just
just
worry about
worry
yourself.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is the next thing, but yeah, it's not the only thing.
Not the
like,
only thing,
Not
yeah.
everybody's gonna want to go and get anesthetized
Yeah.
just to get tattooed.
Yeah.
Like, no, like you'll still have your
Literally.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not running out of people. We got a lot of people
There's
on
so
this
many
earth. Yeah.
people on this earth,
Um,
guys.
And that's like it's funny because it'll segue into AI and stuff
Oh,
later on.
God.
Yeah. I mean we'll get there eventually, but even talking about the anesthesia tattooing
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and like I get asked all the time, what happens when a machine can tattoo you? And I'm like, every time I get that question, I'm like, I'm not afraid.
yeah.
Because
yeah.
what it's going to do for me is it'll take away the people that want eternity signs and birds. Like, it'll free me up to
Yeah.
do an actual art piece.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, I don't have to be that machine. Like, if you want, like, that little simple, tiny Pinterest
yeah.
tattoo, like,
Machine
go for it.
will
Go
never
for it. Yeah.
ever replace our imagination.
Yeah,
man.
and especially being here, people still ask me to get poked by a stick.
Yeah.
So it's
Same.
like I got machines and they're
Yeah.
still asking for a stick. It's like I'm okay. You'll
Eventually,
have like
people
a,
were
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I want to do
Yeah.
it."
Like
the
there
old
will be AI
traditional way.
tattoo artists at one point, and
Yeah.
or AI tattoo machines,
Yeah.
but
Bring it on.
Yeah, they'll still ask to get poked by a stick. Yeah, because don't they do it? They still do it in Thailand like that,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
and even in Japan, like,
Traditional. Yeah.
it's still practice
It
the
is.
old ways. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, like honestly, it'll help us.
Yeah.
It'll give us more quality clients.
Yeah.
That actually are seeking the art part of the tattoo
Yeah.
industry, not just a tattoo, but they actually want an art
Yeah.
piece. So outside of tattooing, there's people with a whole bunch of passions that we talked about. Whatever they love to do. What would be something that you would tell them to take that passion to the next level, whether it be making it a career or
You know what? Repetitive, or what is another word for
consistency.
it? Consistency, man.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to invest on, be consistent at it. Yeah. Not just, oh, I want to do this, and then, maybe good at it, but it's just a consistency. Even in the tattoo industry, like man, consistency. Whatever you want to invest on, career path wise,
Right.
just being consistent. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people ask like, oh, how did you, get so good at tattooing so quickly? But when you do it 5, 6, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
every single day,
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude.
you could not even try and you'll still get better at it because you're
Yeah.
already doing it,
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's that too, and just for me, like when I tattoo, I'm always constantly trying to learn or better myself, not just be satisfied.
Right.
You know, when you're satisfied, I think you're not learning.
Oh, you're stagnant. You're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah. You're like, huh, I did good. That's it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But for me, when I always approach my tattoos every single day, it's like, oh, what did I do that I didn't do, or should have done that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of started doing some
Question
kind of like
yourself. You know?
post-action report kind of deal after reading that David Goggins book. But I would tattoo that day, and like when you're tattooing, you have those little like, dang, I should have done this.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a mental note, and then later on I'll go back in my journal,
Yeah.
my diary, and and I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Like next time while you're packing in black, do this, or next
Yeah.
time when you're trying to achieve this kind of look, do this. And I always thought I would go back and read it, but I never do. But I think just writing it down
Yeah.
already like puts it in your head. Like you don't have to go back and read it, but like
No.
when you're doing it, you're like, oh yeah, remember that one time I wrote that I should do this
Yeah.
next time. So yeah, definitely what
Yeah.
is it called? Self-evaluation,
Self-evaluation, self-reflection, man. For me, literally, I still have the photos from the first day of tattooing and looked
I'd love to see those.
looked at what progress I made and just humble myself and sometimes you just gotta give yourself a pat in the back.
Right. Just look back and see how far you actually came.
yeah.
I
And,
do that all the time.
Man, and saying that is just it'll make you better. I think. You see the progress, you evaluate yourself, and do more progress.
Yeah, because you'll do something every single day, consistency,
Yeah.
and you're just like you're staring at the same thing over and over,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like it's changing at all. Like it never will.
What I meant by consistency, like when you're starting off your career, be consistent at it, and then when you progress on your career, then you build up to that,
Yeah.
and you evaluate, and
Yeah.
you know.
But yeah, I think looking back at stuff, I do that all the time. Like I'll go back and like scroll to the very, very
Yeah.
bottom of my Instagram and just look at it and be like, damn, you know. And I'm not saying that all the tattoos I did 2018 is shitty, but I mean, there definitely is. That's one thing too. When old work comes back and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
can you add on to this?
Oh,
and you're
dude.
like, God, I do it so differently now.
Yeah.
So how do you so let's just talk about that. I know we're like trying to wrap up, but no, it's a good thing because a lot of people would like to know, like, you've been in it for 10 years and I've been in it for 5, but when clients come back that hit you up when you first kind of started and you had this style,
I know,
and they're like,
dude.
oh, can you add on to it? Like, I could see if we're doing something brand new, but
Yeah.
when they want you to add on to your
6
old
years,
work,
8 years.
how do you go about that? Like, do you try and mock your old work, or do you like
No,
upgrade? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Never. I think what I well, depends, what I would usually say is like, man, this is like 5 years ago, and try to explain how, man, it's a
Right,
bit different now how I do it. But if you want that style, I can, but now I do it a lot better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying it's shitty work, but it's, that's 5 years ago. Come on, they understand.
Yeah.
They'll
yeah.
understand.
Oh yeah, I mean
Definitely
they
will
have
understand.
to. It's a change. It's like
Yeah.
saying, oh, I don't want the iPhone
Yeah.
15. I want the.
I think- I think,
I want my Motorola. I want my Nextel.
to be honest, some of my clients are like, oh man, I actually like how you progressed,
Right.
and I like your old
Yeah.
work now. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's like a
You have those
memento.
time capsule
yeah,
clients.
time
They're
capsule,
like,
Yeah.
like you started here and
Yeah.
you started from the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Literally, I did I think I add on to a lion and like portraits and stuff,
Mhm.
and how I approach my lions was so different now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And I'm like, oh man, had I known what I know, like, I
Right,
would
right.
never done
You like
that.
borderline look at you're like, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
But they're always humble about it. Like, no, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. This is a piece from you, and I got it like 5 years ago, and I'm just happy how, like they always say, like, I'm happy how, like, you progressed.
Right. And that all goes
Right.
back to what we're talking
Yeah.
about the whole experience.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter, it's all come to the eye of the beholder or whatever.
Art
It
is
might
in
be
the eye,
fucking
yeah.
piece of shit from your perspective, but on the other's perspective, like, oh, that's fucking beautiful.
Right.
You know,
Those are like the best clients.
best
ever.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's how you kind of tell yourself or tell your clients, like, hey, I got way better, and let me show you what I can do now.
Honestly, you should be scared if you're like, oh yeah, I can do the same thing.
Yeah,
You're like,
oh,
whoa,
man,
whoa,
yeah,
5 years
right?
later, you're still
Yeah,
doing the same
like,
work. Come on.
Same shit.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah.
You
Talk about
didn't fucking progress.
That's some self-reflection right there. You're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would never copy my old. I think I would strive to get better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I would never, like, unless they want me to cover it or whatever they want me to do, improve on it or whatever. If I can, then I would. But if not, then I would just leave it how it was.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. Any closing words, closing statements? Yeah, this was fun.
That was fun, man.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like podcasts.
Not gonna lie, I was
actually.
borderline nervous. I don't know why. It's like
What the fuck?
talking stories.
Just
Yeah.
talking stories to a regular guy.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but definitely, yeah, seminars. I like this, man.
Yeah.
I can
It is
see you
cool.
doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we get enough.
J Dog.
The dog cast.
Dog
Yeah, we
cast.
can't do that. They're gonna think it's about dogs.
I know. Nah, just do it.
Today's episode, we're talking about chihuahuas.
Just go Tat Vice.
Yeah. Well, no,
There
you
you
already
go.
branded that one, so we'll
Go
see.
for it.
We'll see. I mean, I'm sticking to the clothing brand, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just call it the hierarchy.
Hierarchy, man.
You know, because I
There you
mean,
go.
it's everything's
I like it, man. I like it.
yeah, climbing that ladder. But yeah, no, thank you. It was
Yeah,
it was
man.
a fun one for
it was
sure.
a pleasure, man. Get to see, the upcoming artists. I know you've been in this for 5 years now, but
Yeah.
from first time I met you and where you were at, dude,
Yeah, it was.
You're
it was
hustling,
a
man.
journey. Yeah.
never ever, like,
Yeah.
your resilience is ridiculous. man.
Thanks.
It's
Appreciate
crazy,
that.
and
Yeah.
I wish a lot of tattoo artists has that, and not many people has, and I know you'll get for it, man.
Aw.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, it was fun. We're definitely gonna run it back.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
when Kali comes,
No
we'll
worries.
run that OG crew
Oh, dude.
cast, and we can
That'll
talk
be
about
fucking fun.
we can talk about how KI pulled you guys all in and how he thought you were just a client. Yeah. But we'll get there.
Oh,
But yeah,
man,
other
that
than
was
that, I
funny.
think that's
That's it. Yeah, that's a wrap, man.
cool. Right on. We did it.
Peace.
Oh.
Peace out.